Tansei, Kiowao, Joël de Chinakashin, ma parentie parisienne, Lyon, Dion, Zeiss, Carrière, and beaucoup d'autres. I'm here to talk about the water and what are the significance of the water. And so one example of that would be my family were really connected to the water and using it as a trade route. The Parisienne family, they would travel from what's now Manitoba through the river systems and moving beaver pelts all the way up to Jasper. And it's really interesting that our ancestors were so connected to the water and the land that they could navigate that whole system just by memory. And so I think that really is speaking to the connection of the water and the water beings being able to guide us and to live alongside them. I think it's really important that when we approach the water and the water beings that we do that as a guest. And a guest would bring a gift. Some people use tobacco. So I've done that today, is that I've made an offering today to the water that we're protected and that we have a good experience. And I do that routinely when I harvest. And as a Métis person, I think it's really important that we treat the land, the water, all beings as brothers and sisters. And so that concept of gift giving, I think, is really important as a Michif person. I find that some people, like some of the terminology people will use for paddling, I find them really aggressive words, like prying. But like the water beings, they don't want aggression. They want calm, like everybody else. We want to be calm and collected. So I kind of use them like just steering strokes. Like if I'm moving myself on the water rather than moving the water, it's a little bit of a different perspective change. Like some people feel like everything around them needs to move and respond to them, but we can respond to the water the same way, like a friendship. So the water is really sacred to us. We're born from water. We live in our mothers in water for 9 months before we even take our first breath. Our communities all were connected to the rivers and like a long lot system, so all the houses were connected. They were our highways. We traveled, we traded, we trapped along them, we hunted along them. So we want to treat it special. So the season right now, we'd call it nôcihitôwipîsim, the rutting moon. So using your canoe and using the water beings to help you, you can get to a spot where it's really easy to hunt and find moose. So you can paddle across really quietly. And if we were hiking or walking or hunting in the bush, we'd be scaring everything. And so it's doing that in your paddle and in your canoe is really nice. So usually, particularly around this time of year, I'll bring my moose call with me, my birch bark moose call. And if I get to a spot where I think there might be moose or I see some moose sign, then I'll see if I can call to them, or if I was hunting, then I would use that with my canoe. My great uncle made this birch bark call, and he gave it to me long ago. It's really nice. There's no reed or anything. You do it all with your mouth and your nose. So moose, you want it to sound kind of nasally. So when I hold it up, I plug my nose with my fingers and I push with my thumb underneath my, kind of like on my tongue. Gets that nasally sound like this. Oh, 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 oh. Like that. So I do a couple of those and listen really quietly. And so I do just like this, not paddle at all, and just listen. What's nice about the water is it carries your sound really far, so you can capture a big area where moose might be. I find paddling to be a really good way to like embody our teaching philosophy, or at least the one that I try to use a lot, is kiskinohamâtowin. It means like show them so they can teach themselves. And so paddling, when I learned it, they would just say, go paddle, watch me, and then practice and use the water beings. Don't fight them. Be a part of them, be one with them, kind of keep the calm, cool, collected. paddling along is kind of like our courage. It takes flexibility. Someone who's really rigid and stern and stiff and not flexible will have rough times. And so it takes a little bit of flexibility within the boat. So it's okay if you kind of tip a little bit one way or the other and respond to it calmly and collected. But if you're too aggressive and unwavering, then you'll roll, and then you'll join the water beings for a nice cool dip. It's like my paddle, same idea. The paddle's made of wood and it's designed with my body in mind. So its length is a certain length, its flexibilities is a certain way based on my strength. And so I don't want it to be too rigid, because then I can't respond and I can't feel. So I can't feel the water beings. But if it's too flexible, it'll bend and break. We paddle and we don't just pick a spot and go straight to it. We respond little bits at a time. So you paddle and then you make a little correction, kind of like life. You make a little correction and then you switch and you move it a little bit more. You get back to in line and to the direction that you want to be going in your life. So, but it takes reflection. So, and all that happens in conversation at the same time. So if you're in a paddle or you're canoeing with your paddle partner, and you're not having a conversation with the water beings and with each other, then again, you're too rigid. You're going to end up tipping or in rough waters or in rough relationship. And so we can learn a lot from paddling and from our canoes and from the water that helps us with our life and with our conversations.